Modern women make terrible decisions chasing momentary happiness, and it never ends well.
Okay.
For some absurd reason, modernity has convinced humans that happiness is the highest emotion and goal to attain in life.
Bro, we brainwashed out here, bro.
Happiness, being a fleeting, inferior emotion, has been marketed to us as a goal to go for in order to keep us as consumers and patients for life, by making us chase happiness through buying material goods and also using alcohol and hard substances that consequently make us sick.
Stop it. Get some help.
We then become the customers of the medical field and big pharmaceutical companies that sell us treatment for symptoms to keep us as customers for life.
Bomboka!
What does this have to do with dating and relationships, you ask?
Yes.
Well, as I said, happiness is an inferior emotion by itself. It is fleeting and always comes with a low, being sadness and depression after you've had its high. There are far more superior emotions and goals in life, such as bliss, commitment, fulfillment from achieving your purpose and doing your duty, love, compassion, etc. Duty used to be a very important aspect of human life before modernity. We were taught to do our duty to our family, community, and to ourselves. And without doing your duty, the important things don't get done, and we end up with a twisted world, just as we are in contemporarily. Now back to happiness being inferior on its own. When it doesn't come with a superior emotional state, it leaves quickly and puts you in its opposite. Sadness, and your continued pursuit of happiness will lead you to stronger negative emotions such as depression, discontent, envy, hatred, and more.
That's some old bullshit.
On the other hand, when it is coupled with a superior emotion such as fulfillment and love, it acts as a garnish on these emotions and thus stays longer or comes back without leaving a negative effect, cause the superior emotion is what brought the happiness about. When you're in love, it can make you happy, thus enjoying your loving state more. In modernity, we have been conditioned to chase happiness, and chase it we will cause it remains fleeting by itself, and this is more pronounced in relationships and dating. Men have lower levels of neuroticism as opposed to women, hence we do less things to seek happiness and pleasure than women do, since we often have less negative emotions, or better yet, are less susceptible to them. Also, we handle our emotions better and aren't dragged around by the changes in them. On the other hand, women are high in eroticism and are more emotionally volatile, hence they fall more for the conditioning to chase happiness. This leaves most of them who don't take good advice from their fathers and family members in choosing a mate and end up making terrible decisions in the pursuit of happiness, only to be sadder and sadder the more they chase it. Let's have a look at how it plays out with some examples of women making terrible choices.
Why get a divorce after 25 years of marriage?
Why? Why?
The short answer is because it is not too late to be happy. And I finally got to a point at the beginning of the year where I decided that it wasn't too late to be happy. I still have, hopefully, many more years left, and I would like to be happy for those years.
1 week later.
I'm just not strong enough
Just like a woman.
to fight this one by myself. I don't know what to do.
This guy is fucking stupid.
So this woman, in pursuit of happiness, rather than focusing on her duty and getting contentment and fulfillment, in which would ultimately bring lasting happiness, leaves a 25-year marriage because she is too lazy to do the right thing and thinks she'll be happy by breaking her vows and ruining her marriage.
Who does that?
She thinks there are men out there waiting for a woman with a track record of leaving and breaking her commitment.
Stupid.
She made a terrible choice because she wants just happiness and ends up crying her eyes out. And to make it worse, she does it on social media. Like, why do they do it on social media?
Why? Why? Why?
It's ridiculous.
That's stupid.
Get some help.
They all do it on social media, looking for validation for their poor choices. Like, you can keep it to yourself.
These people are insane!
Many women make poor choices in their 20s, chasing money and happiness, picking the wrong men, and end up crying about it later on. Luckily for us, they tell on themselves on TikTok and Instagram, so we can learn from it and avoid their ilk. And also make fun of them and have a good laugh. Let's have a look.
He finally asks you out, but another man is flying you to dinner? Let's see how well picking this gold digger route worked out for you.
I fell in love this year. I'm no longer in love, but I did find it. I think it's something to celebrate, right?
Yeah, keep telling yourself that, sweetheart. Dude pulled the old hit it and quit it. That's so tough.
She wasn't looking for love.
Nope.
She was looking for happiness that comes with material and luxury goods.
Yes.
Love isn't that fake emotion these women talk about. Love wouldn't ditch the guy you want just because another man takes you on a helicopter ride or a date. She made the wrong choice and picked a man who knows how to take advantage of such low value, gold digging women. And now she's looking for validation and thinks she should celebrate being pumped and dumped.
Can't make this shit up.
Nah, shouldn't be. She did deserve a man like this who will do that to her and the other man dodged a bullet, possibly a nuke.
Yes.
These ilk of women do this in their 20s, and when they get to their 30s and insist on ridiculous standards since they have been burnt so many times and act like they are special until the wall and the biological clock hits them right in the face. I wonder what it looks like. Is there a soul out there who's decided to document her folly for us to see?
I do not accept a coffee or a walk as a possible date option, and neither should you. First of all, I'm not a dog that needs to be walked. Second, I have an espresso machine at home, works fabulous. We're not doing drinks either. You're gonna try to get me drunk and take me back home. No. We are doing dinner. You're gonna pick me up, we're gonna come to the restaurant, we're gonna see your table manners. We're just gonna, study you a bit.
6.5 hours later.
I started the egg freezing process. I did some preliminary tests which showed that my egg count is really low. The doctors did tell me that might affect my fertility. My eggs are high quality, but there's just not a lot of them. It's just so sad.
So this gold digger who spent her 20s being passed around by many wealthy men who never intended to take her seriously because she doesn't take her own self seriously and wears face paint every day and gets surgery that has kept this delusional mindset in her 20s and 30s. She doesn't do coffee dates, walks, etc. And she thinks she's too special until her biological clock runs out and the wall hits her hard. The wall hits you before you know it. And you only realize it when no man wants to even try to take you seriously. Now she tries to defy nature by freezing her eggs.
These people are insane!
Only to waste lots of money and reap the benefits of her terrible choices, whilst pursuing momentary happiness she gets from being with rich, bad boys, and the high her delusion gives her. On the other hand, there are decent women who make good choices and want to be wives. Or raised to be wives and don't think happiness is the goal and only emotion to go for when there are deeper facets to our lives. Let's have a look at someone just like that.
I deserve to be happy. Who told you that you deserve to be happy? See, this was something very humbling for me to hear because I chased after happiness the same way most of society also does. And women are conditioned today, and some men are conditioned today to chase after personal happiness instead of doing what is right, what is morally right, and fighting for that. So the fact is, once you lock in on your role in your relationship and in this life, you will become a very content person because happiness is fleeting. It is a fleeting emotion, and you might actually end up doing very self-destructive things chasing after happiness. So no, you do not deserve to be happy. In fact, there is such beauty in things being hard and doing what is right. You will lose yourself to appeal to other people or to your emotions. You will become a slave for other people or you will become a slave to your own emotions.
She has made some points I have, so no need in repeating it again. Now let's pay attention to something very important here. Have you noticed a difference between her demeanor, her aura, the way she speaks and her mindset, in contrast to the three women in the prior videos to this one?
Yes.
She is feminine and not aggressive. She has learned quickly from her past experiences of chasing happiness and has course corrected quickly to be on the right path, and understands that there are more valuable things and more deeper levels of life than chasing happiness. She understands that chasing happiness leads to self-destructive behavior and makes you a slave to others and your emotions, like the women in the earlier videos. They followed happiness and made terrible choices that were self-destructive. And one thing you can notice is they are not wives. What is the mindset of a wife? What is the mindset of a woman who is a wife? I bet the feminine woman can tell us.
So, you know how everybody always talks about the scripture, when a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing? The way I also interpret that is that finding a wife is very rare. Because you could be a wife on paper, but not a wife in your heart. A man who finds a wife. Let's break down what a wife is. If you go to Proverbs 31, her lamp never burns out. She brings him good all his days, no harm. That means no drama. She's his peace. Her husband has full confidence in her. She is actively serving her family. Her husband praises her and her children call her blessed. And the way I was humbled was when God shed light on my heart that just because I had the title did not mean I honored the position.
When you contrast her mindset and what she said about serving her family and husband to the woman whose eggs are kaput.
2 seconds earlier.
I do not accept a coffee or a walk as a possible date option, and neither should you. First of all, I'm not a dog that needs to be walked. Second, I have an espresso machine at home, works fabulous. We're not doing drinks either. You're gonna try to get me drunk and take me back home. No. We are doing dinner. You're gonna pick me up. We're gonna come to the restaurant. We're gonna see your table manners. We're just gonna, study you a bit.
Silence, you fool!
You notice how a wife thinks and speaks. Women like the old delusional one will treat you poorly and they would never change.
Women who treat you poorly are not going to treat you better, even if you try harder.
The way she starts out with you is only going to get worse because we bring our best behavior and representative when we start dating. So if she starts out treating you poorly, she's just gonna amp it up and you'd be an ignoramus to think it would change. Why would you stick around for it?
Why? Why?
Are you gonna stay with someone who is only concerned with happiness and only hers as they always do?
Nope.
Or are you gonna leave and pick someone who understands there's more to life than chasing happiness?
Yes, definitely.
Because the woman who is focused on chasing her happiness will always treat you poorly. Maybe you should take a cue from the next clip of what to do if you're with someone of that ilk.
I come back to dishes in the sink, I'm not gonna ask you to do the dishes. I'm probably just gonna do them. Maybe I didn't communicate that, sure. However, if I have to communicate that, I'm not the one for you.
Do not try to make it seem like I'm not here doing my part at all. We're not gonna spit it like that. I've been given such a negative response. A temper tantrum sometimes, like an attitude, I just don't understand it. If it's about the dishes, if it's about me going to sleep, if it's about a text, all of that, it's a slap in the face.
Right, I'm glad you feel that way. There's a lot I could respond to, but there is no scenario that I see myself standing there and saying yes to making you my wife forever. And with that in mind, I'm glad we can at least agree that I don't ever want to see you again. This was nice. I wish you the best of luck.
Smart man. He quickly dodged a bullet that was coming his way. Well, he did put himself in the line of fire, but he smartened up and got out of the way before the disaster. The terrible train wreck these ones bring. She made terrible choices, clearly not a wife, hence he's not picking her to be his wife and leaving her. She only cares about her happiness and not doing her duty, and she speaks to him terribly after he calmly and nicely pointed out the terrible treatment he has been receiving from her. It's a reality show. There is more to it than this. where he had to stomach a lot. At least he corrected his mistake and realizes what a wife is and is not. And she definitely is not a wife and wouldn't be his.
Women be lying, knowing they lying, knowing you know they lying, and still lie.
The women who make terrible choices and chase happiness not only end up like the women in the first 3 videos and the 6th one, but they end up lonely and make more embarrassing and terrible choices like the next final lady of the day. What a contrast between the lovely feminine women and the delusional and the delusional self-centered, happiness-chasing, pleasure-seeking women out there. At least you've seen the different types, and it is on you which you choose. It is always your choice. You get to make it. Are you, as a man, also gonna be a slave to your emotions and women by chasing happiness and becoming self-destructive? Or are you gonna follow your purpose, become compassionate and loving, do your duty and expand your consciousness and become a better version of yourself who will be a match for a woman of similar ilk? Until next time.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you will, look right here.